I want to invite you all to begin with just to close your eyes for a moment. Humor me. Close your eyes. And imagine that you're in bed, and it's a winter morning. Maybe it's still dark, as it often is on winter mornings here. And I want you to imagine what wakes you up. Maybe it's your alarm. I don't know what your body clock is like. I need about 3 sessions of snooze to wake me up. What's the first thing that you reach for? Do you switch on the light? Do you grab your phone, switch your alarm off? Do you check your Facebook, your Insta? What's your next move? What wakes you up? Maybe you get up out of bed, take a shower, breakfast, iron your shirt. My alarm goes at about 7 a.m. You can open your eyes now. My alarm goes at about 7 a.m. As I said, I snooze 3 to 4 times. 7:30, I get up, but I don't really wake up, not until I've had a really hot shower, I've had a cup of coffee, maybe a bit of toast or muesli with berries if I wake up on time and I don't have to run out the door. Now, all of that, I calculated it. It's about 0.1 cent to charge my phone to make sure my alarm goes off. It's 30 cents to keep the heat on so that I'm not freezing when I'm running to the bathroom. 40 cents for my hot shower. And it goes on. And it adds up to, let's call it about €1.20 to get me out of bed in the morning. I want that to sink in for a moment, because that's in a country where it's 5 to 6 cents per kilowatt hour. But somewhere like Rwanda or Lesotho, it's between 15 and 30 cents per kilowatt hour, if you have a connection, if you have access to electricity. So if I was living somewhere like that, then it would be like $4 to get me out of bed in the morning. Right? That's quite a lot. Now imagine you only earn $2 a day. My morning routine is unsustainable for anybody that only earns $2 a day. So what I want to talk to you guys a little bit about today is energy access. What is it really? Why is it important to me? How does it affect all of us? So the reality is that perhaps one of my customers in Lesotho, which is a country in southern Africa where I work, where we deliver energy access products, they're not going to have their smartphone alarm with snooze wake them up in the morning, probably. They probably don't have a toaster. In fact, most of our customers, before they purchase any of our products, are building an open fire in the morning with wood in order to boil water so that they can wash, make breakfast, get the kids off to school, heat the house. In fact, in Lesotho, annually, most of our customers use along the lines of 3 tons of wood fuel. So I want to talk a little bit about energy access in 2 different fronts. So we've got electricity, and we have thermal energy. The reason I want to differentiate is I think most of us think if you have access to electricity, done, sorted, right? Fridge, oven, all those different things can all run on electricity, so if you have access, you're good, right? Realistically, the pricing doesn't match. $1.20 to get me out of bed. If you look at the difference between charging your phone, which is 2 to 6 watts in order to power it, right? You've got watts as a unit of power, watts per hour, kilowatts per hour is 1,000 watts per hour. It's 2 to 6 watts to charge your phone. It's 2 to 3,000 to power an induction plate for cooking. Thermal energy, generating heat, that's really where the most amount of energy is needed. So in order to do that with electricity, it becomes much too expensive, especially with the kinds of people that I'm looking to reach with energy access. That's why you can have a dynamo on your bicycle and power an LED light, very small amount of energy needed for that. But you wouldn't be able to boil an egg on your way to work, right? Along those lines. So thermal versus electricity, there's a big difference. And both are very important. So if I look at lighting versus cooking in, as I said, our home market of Lesotho, I see that an LED light takes very little energy. Our products have solar panels and a USB. It's very easy, it's free, and it's very affordable to purchase the goods that are needed to provide this level of electricity. Whereas a candle costs 30 cents, and you need at least one a day if you're going to use it in the morning and in the evening, right? So it's amazing to see how expensive energy access is for the very poorest. So then the next one that I want to compare is in the developing world, so people that we know are maybe poor and rural and they need energy access. Are we going to get them a grid? Are we going to get them solar? And those that are in a displaced setting. So what's really very shocking is those that are most vulnerable, refugees and displaced people, that we do have a mandate to ensure are settled somewhere, that are in perhaps a refugee camp. In fact, 90% of refugees don't have access to electricity at all. 80% are reliant on biomass fuels entirely. This is according to a recent study by the Moving Energy Initiative. What's very shocking about that, what this report showed, is that, in fact, in a camp in Uganda, over half of the refugees in the camp admitted that they had undercooked their meals twice in a week because they didn't have enough fuel to cook the meal. 44% of them skipped a meal entirely because they didn't have enough fuel to cook their meal. And 10% of them said they had sold at least a quarter of their rations because they didn't have the fuel to cook it. Can you imagine selling your food in order to buy the fuel to cook it with? Keep in mind that not all food can be eaten raw. It's not the difference between a broodje kaas and a tosti. What it is, it's rice and beans, things that are mandated and given out, what is available, but not the energy to cook it with. These are the things that are really rather shocking in the humanitarian setting when we're talking about access to energy. So why am I so passionate about this? So my company, we manufacture a cooking stove that has solar energy for device charging and LED lighting. So it's like a total all-round energy system. We make it affordable by microfinancing it. And I'm passionate about this because I see that the innovation, the products are there. The difficulty is actually getting it to people, right? We're talking about 3 billion people in the world who still rely on biomass for cooking. There's 560 million households that still cook on an open fire. In fact, it kills more than 4 million people every year. That's more than HIV and malaria combined. So we see this blend between the humanitarian and the developing world, where that access to energy is really a huge inhibitor. It really means that you don't easily get up in the morning. You spend 3 hours a day collecting fuel. There is no light to work by after dark. You can't do your homework. So why does it mean so much to me? It's kids reading before they go to bed. It's safely being able to cook with mom, learning how to cook from mom without inhaling the smoke that will kill you because you get pulmonary problems in your early 20s. So I'm very passionate about this. Why should you care about this? Okay, again, it is a huge problem. 3 billion people, right? In a world where we're running out of the biomass. A third of our world is cooking on biomass, and there's less and less and less of it. Climate change, I think we all in here accept, is a reality. And the regions in which we will all safely and comfortably be able to live are getting smaller and smaller. These are issues that we need to solve before we make the current refugee crisis look like small fry, when half the world population needs to join together because there isn't enough food, water, or fuel. So we do need to be thinking about solving these problems now. The Sustainable Development Goals have been developed for a reason, because they indicate where the limits are and how quickly we'll need to change. The innovations exist, and we can do it if we all work together. So I'm doing my bit. I'm trying really hard, but when I look at how many we've catered to in a displaced setting, about 500 units, that's a drop in the ocean. And the number of units that we've catered to in emerging markets, 55,000. That's quite a lot of people. That's a drop in that ocean. And I myself don't have the means to make this happen for everyone. I can't reach everybody altogether, but we can. We can do it together. So what it boils down to at the end of the day, all complexity aside, all the details about what kind of energy and what the best solution is, energy is not a luxury. Energy is a human right. And there might not be one solution that fixes it for everybody, but everybody deserves a great solution. Thank you.